In this video, we'll be exploring the reasons why perimenopause often exposes undiagnosed ADHD and what it means for women navigating this life stage. I'm Jo Banks. I've been a professional executive business coach for 16 years and I'm sharing what I know. In recent years, more and more women are recognising the signs of ADHD during their transition into perimenopause. It's something that I'm definitely seeing more and more in my coaching practice, and I've got first-hand experience of. This late life revelation often comes as a surprise, as ADHD has historically been underdiagnosed and misunderstood, particularly in women. The link between perimenopause and ADHD is complex, rooted in hormonal changes, societal expectations, and a growing awareness of ADHD's nuanced presentations. Before we get into today's topic, full disclosure, I was diagnosed with ADHD in January 2023 at the age of 53. Subsequently, I have worked on a one-to-one basis with probably 30 plus individuals who either suspected they were neurodivergent, had no idea they were neurodivergent, or who already had a diagnosis, as well as training thousands of people in neurodiversity awareness. So this one is a personal and important topic for me. So let's get into the detail. Understanding ADHD in women. ADHD is a neurodevelopmental condition that affects executive functioning, including skills such as attention regulation, impulse control, emotional regulation, and organisation. While ADHD is commonly associated with hyperactive boys in childhood, its presentation in girls and women often looks very different. Many women with ADHD experience symptoms such as chronic forgetfulness and disorganisation, a tendency to procrastinate, difficulty focusing, especially on tasks that don't hold our interest, emotional overwhelm or hypersensitivity, feeling perpetually overwhelmed by daily responsibilities. These symptoms often get dismissed or misattributed to personality traits such as anxiety or depression, leading to a lack of proper diagnosis in childhood or adolescence. Women may develop elaborate coping mechanisms to manage their symptoms, masking their ADHD for literally decades. That's certainly what I did. The role of hormones in ADHD. Hormonal fluctuations significantly impact ADHD symptoms, particularly in women. Estrogen, a hormone that influences the production of dopamine and serotonin in the brain, plays a crucial role in regulating mood, focus, and executive functioning. Planning, organising, decision-making, strategic thinking all take part in the prefrontal cortex part of the brain. When estrogen levels are high, women experience improved cognitive functioning and mood stability. Conversely, when estrogen levels drop, which they do dramatically during perimenopause, ADHD symptoms often worsen. During a woman's life, estrogen levels fluctuate in 3 key stages. Number 1, puberty. Hormonal surges during adolescence can exacerbate ADHD symptoms, yet they're often mistaken for typical teenage behaviour. Number 2, the menstrual cycle. Many women with ADHD notice a cyclical pattern in their symptoms, with worsening focus and emotional regulation in the days leading up to their period when estrogen levels drop. Number 3, perimenopause. This transitional phase leading up to menopause involves a sharp decline in estrogen alongside unpredictable fluctuations. For women with undiagnosed ADHD, this hormonal upheaval can cause symptoms to spike, making them more noticeable and more challenging to manage. I discussed this in far more detail in a previous video. I'll leave the link below. Why perimenopause is a tipping point. During perimenopause, which typically begins in a woman's 40s or early 50s, although it can start earlier, fluctuating estrogen levels can intensify ADHD symptoms. Many women describe feeling as though they're losing control or falling apart. Tasks that they once managed with ease suddenly feel insurmountable, and emotional overwhelm becomes a frequent experience. 3 key factors contribute to this tipping point. Number 1, hormonal chaos. As estrogen levels plummet, dopamine levels in the brain decrease, leading to challenges with focus, motivation, and emotional regulation, all hallmarks of ADHD. Women who had previously coped well may find themselves struggling more than ever. Number 2, increased cognitive demands. For many women, midlife brings a convergence of responsibilities: caring for aging parents, supporting teenage children, navigating career pressures, and managing household tasks. These cognitive and emotional demands can exacerbate ADHD symptoms. Number 3, loss of masking abilities. Over time, the coping mechanisms women have developed to mask their ADHD symptoms can wear thin. Perimenopause often strips away the mental energy required to maintain these strategies, making the underlying ADHD far more apparent. The cultural blind spot in diagnosing women. Historically, ADHD has been undiagnosed in women for several reasons. And again, I do have a video on this. Number 1, gender stereotypes. ADHD has long been seen as a male condition, with diagnostic criteria skewed towards hyperactive and disruptive behaviours, which are far more common in boys. Girls who often exhibit inattentive or internalised symptoms have been completely overlooked. Number 2, societal expectations. Women are often socialised to be nurturing, organised, and emotionally stable. When they struggle with focus, forgetfulness, or emotional dysregulation, these traits are often attributed to stress, anxiety, or a lack of discipline rather than ADHD. Number 3, focus on anxiety and depression. Many women with ADHD are initially diagnosed with anxiety or depression, as these conditions often co-occur with ADHD. However, treating only these symptoms without addressing the underlying ADHD can leave women feeling stuck and misunderstood. This is a really common one I see in my coaching practice. It's only in recent years that awareness of ADHD's diverse presentations in women has grown. For many women, perimenopause serves as a catalyst for seeking help, as the intensification of symptoms becomes impossible to ignore. The benefits of diagnosis in midlife. While discovering an ADHD diagnosis during perimenopause can feel overwhelming, it can also be incredibly empowering. Understanding the root cause of lifelong struggles can lead to significant improvements in self-esteem, relationships, and overall quality of life. Some benefits of late diagnosis include: number 1, access to effective treatment. ADHD treatment often involves a combination of medication, therapy, and lifestyle adjustments. For women in perimenopause, hormone replacement therapy, HRT, in my experience, can be hugely beneficial. It can help to stabilise estrogen levels, alleviating many of the ADHD symptoms. Number 2, improved self-understanding. Many women describe the relief of finally having a name for their experience. A diagnosis can help reframe self-critical narratives, replacing shame with compassion and curiosity. Number 3, better support systems. Armed with a diagnosis, women can seek out ADHD-specific resources such as support groups, coaching, and online communities to connect with others who share their experiences. That said, for many women, they decide not to go and get a diagnosis for many different reasons. And that, I would suggest, is a very personal choice. I decided to get a diagnosis. Would I go and get a diagnosis knowing what I know now? Maybe not. But again, it's a very personal choice and every person is different. Navigating ADHD and perimenopause. For women navigating both ADHD and perimenopause, an integrated approach to treatment is crucial. Here are some strategies to consider. Number 1, seek professional help. Consult with a healthcare provider who is knowledgeable about both ADHD and hormonal health. They can help you explore treatment options, including ADHD medications, HRT, or non-hormonal strategies. Number 2, prioritize self-care. Establishing routines, setting realistic goals, and incorporating mindfulness practices can help manage overwhelm. Regular exercise, oh my goodness, that's a godsend for me. I don't know what I would do without regular exercise. And a balanced diet also support brain health. One thing I tell all of my clients is that when stress goes up, self-care must go up. Number 3, leverage tools and technology. Using planners, reminder apps, and organisational tools to compensate for executive functioning challenges can be hugely useful. Simplifying daily tasks can reduce the mental load. Number 4, building a support network. Connecting with other women with similar experiences can provide validation, practical tips, and emotional support. Number 5, educate yourself and others. Learning about ADHD, its impact on women, can empower you to advocate for yourself in medical and personal settings. Sharing your experience can also help break down the stigma and raise awareness. Number 6, coaching. I work, as I mentioned earlier, with a lot of people to help and support them with daily tasks, including those planning and organising things. Often my clients will tell me that working with somebody who has ADHD is really helpful for them and incredibly validating. So that might be an option for you too. Breaking the stigma. Increasing recognition of ADHD women, particularly during perimenopause, is a step forward in breaking the stigma surrounding this condition. By sharing our stories, we are challenging outdated stereotypes and helping to build a more inclusive understanding of ADHD. If you suspect you might have ADHD, know that you are not alone and it's never too late to seek support. Perimenopause, while it can be a hugely challenging time, can also be an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. Embracing your diagnosis, or not getting a diagnosis, but taking steps towards managing your symptoms, can help you navigate this phase with greater clarity and confidence. The wrap-up. The discovery of ADHD during perimenopause is a poignant reminder of the intersection between hormonal health and neurodiversity. For many of us, this diagnosis is not the end of the story, but the beginning of a new chapter, one where we can fully understand ourselves and live more authentically. And that has certainly been my experience. By acknowledging the unique challenges that we face and providing holistic support, we can create a world where no one feels left behind. Again, personally, knowing what I know now, has it drastically changed my life knowing that I have ADHD? Probably no. But what it has done is it's allowed me to be kinder to myself. If I'm having a tough time or I find myself struggling with something, I now know why and what I need to do to help myself. Instead of ploughing through with almost toxic positivity, I'm far kinder to myself. I plan things differently. I take better care of myself to lessen my triggers and also to keep myself fit and healthy, both physically and mentally. What next? If you have anything you'd like to add to this video, or you have any topics you'd like to see me cover in the future, please leave it in the comments section below. I read and respond to everything and really love interacting with you all, especially on this topic. It's very close to my heart. If you enjoyed this video, please support the channel with a like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a thing. Finally, thank you to everybody who stays until the very end, and thank you so much for your support. It really does mean the world to me.